What's up guys, Josh from CaliforniaThroughMyLens.com, and today we're talking about the state capital of California, Sacramento. I'm going to show you 15 things to do there and 5 places to eat. Let's do it. Recommendation number 1 is to go to the Capitol building. The Capitol building is of course where all of the government takes place in California, but a lot of people don't know that you can actually go visit it, and there's a museum there as well. After passing through the metal detectors, the bottom floor is a museum with a lot of information on the history of California. There's exhibits on the different counties, and if the Senate or the House of Representatives are in session, you can actually walk to the 3rd floor and look down on the whole process. When they're not in session, you can still go into the old rooms and see how beautiful they are, but it is cool to be able to sit in there for 10-15 minutes and watch aspects of the government taking place. Recommendation number 2 is Old Town Sacramento. I love going to Old Town every time I visit the city. Even though it can be touristy, I think it's a lot of fun and there are a lot of cool things to do there. My personal favorite is the shooting gallery that's down one of the streets, and you can put in $1 and shoot at a bunch of different things. Then there's the Delta King, which is an old boat that they turned into a hotel. There's Fanny Ann's Saloon, which is just an absolutely crazy place to have a meal. There's little museums, candy shops, all sorts of stuff. It's a great place to explore in Sacramento. Also, it's fun to go for St. Patrick's Day. That's where they have the St. Patrick's Day parade. Recommendation number 3 is to go to the Railroad Museum, which is in Old Town Sacramento. I love railroads. It's one of my favorite things to photograph, and old train cars are always just so cool to see in person. This museum is definitely one of the better ones I've ever been to. There's a ton of different types of trains and train cars, plus there's all these interactive exhibits that have the trains on the tracks, and they have things built up around them to show, what the train would have been going through during the time period. It's just a really cool place to explore. I recommend at least an hour or 2 to walk around, as you can go in many of the trains, and if you can only go to one spot in Sacramento, that's probably my personal favorite. Stop number 3 is the Tower Bridge. If there's anything I like taking pictures of more than railroads, it's probably bridges. California has a ton of cool bridges, and the Tower Bridge is definitely one of those. This yellow bridge in downtown is really cool to just walk around and check out. You can walk along the banks of the river, you can even see it from Old Town, you can walk across it. It's also a pretty cool place for night photography, something that I do a lot while I'm there. And while there's not necessarily anything you can do at the Tower Bridge, if you like that architecture and unique bridges, you'll definitely like this one. And if you like photography, there's lots of cool angles to photograph the bridge from. Stop number 5 is the Crocker Art Museum. I'm not a huge fan of art museums myself, but this one is definitely a lot of fun and worth checking out while you're in the city. It's actually 2 buildings, one which was the Crocker's family home, who donated all the art and the money to make the museum, and then the second building, which is a new one that they built within the last 2 decades to house a lot more pieces of the art. They're both connected, so you can walk in between both of them, and it's really fun to go to the old building and see the unique styles there and the old staircases. Plus the art is strewn in between both of them, so it's fun to kind of walk back and forth as you explore the different floors and see all the unique art they have there. Recommendation number 6 is Sutter's Fort. Sutter's Fort was a 19th century trade area that was built in 1839 and was an important part of the development of the area. There's a lot of unique history there, and it's been restored to what it would have looked like during the time period. You can walk into a lot of the different rooms. There's audio that plays that tells you about the rooms that you're in. There's actually a doll that belonged to the Donner Party that has a really interesting story you can see there, and you can see Sutter's office and the places that he lived. It's a spot that you'll often see a lot of school children going to, but I've been multiple times, and it's a cool place to explore if you like history as well. Also, while you're there, go to the Indian Museum, which is located in the same area, with lots of interesting Native American artifacts. Recommendation number 7 is to visit the Cathedral of the Blessed Sacrament in downtown Sacramento. This cathedral is one of the most beautiful in all of California, and it was built in the late 1800s. It has been renovated since then, but it's an amazing piece of architecture in the middle of the city, and something you're definitely going to want to spend a few minutes at. During the weekdays, you can come in and look around, see the altar, see some of the other beautiful pieces that they have around the interior of the cathedral, and if you wanted to, you could come on the weekends and go to a mass as well. Recommendation number 8 is the Sacramento River Train. The Sacramento River Train is an old train that runs on a 14-mile section of the tracks between West Sacramento and Woodland. It goes at about a 10 to 15 mile an hour pace, and they have all sorts of different events that you can go on. There's beer events, wine events, there's murder mysteries on the train. It was a great way to spend a few hours, and you can see the events on their website to see what's coming up. Stop number 9 is the California Auto Museum. The California Auto Museum is housed in a big warehouse right along the river in Sacramento. It has over 150 classic cars, and it's about 70,000 square feet of space for where they house the cars and have different types of exhibits. I'm not a huge car buff myself, but I enjoyed walking around the area and seeing all the unique cars that they had and the stagecoaches and wagons, and there's lots of people walking around to tell you about the cars. It's definitely a cool spot if you love cars, but even if you don't, it's a fun area to check out and you'll definitely learn something while you're there. Recommendation number 10 is to cycle along the river trail. Sacramento has an awesome bike trail that goes along the river for dozens of miles. If you have your own bike, you can ride from wherever you want and connect with the trail, or you can rent a bike in Old Town Sacramento and just head out from there. It's beautiful views looking down on the water, and it's a great way to be active while you're in the city. Stop number 11 is William Land Park. William Land Park is in the southern outskirts of Sacramento, and it's a great place to go if you have a family. It's a big open grass area with a duck pond. There's a small zoo there with lots of different animals, and they have a place called Fairy Tale Land, which is great if you have a family, as the kids can explore, the old shoe house and Humpty Dumpty, and all those fun stories come to life. Stop number 12 is not a kid-friendly one though, and that's to go visit the Dive Bar. This bar, located only a stone's throw from the Capitol building, has a massive fish tank right above the bar. They actually have mermaids that swim in the giant fish tank. It's a super trippy experience to have in Sacramento, so you definitely should check it out at least once. But be sure to go to their website and check when the mermaids are going to be swimming, as they're different times during the week. Recommendation number 13 is the Leland Stanford Mansion State Historic Park. This mansion was built in the mid-1800s and was once owned by Leland Stanford, who was the governor of California during that time period. Since it's so well preserved, it actually became a National Historic Landmark in the 1980s, and now it's ran by the state park system, and you can actually go visit and take a 1-hour tour of the property. They don't allow any pictures or video inside, but it's a great way to learn about the history of Sacramento, which dates back pretty old in terms of California standards. Recommendation number 14 is the World Peace Rose Garden and the whole Capitol Park. Capitol Park is the entire area outside of the Capitol building, and it's 40 acres, and it features tons of trees from all around California, including redwoods. It's a great place for a stroll, but one of the most beautiful areas is the World Peace Rose Garden out on the edge. This half-acre plot features over 650 different types of roses, and it's amazing when they're in bloom. There's also a war memorial here, and there's benches that you can sit and relax at. Before leaving Capitol Park, go across the street as there are a few more exhibits and a great view of the Capitol building with a road leading right to it. My last recommendation is a visit to the California Museum. The California Museum is located right next to the Capitol building, and they call themselves the official home of the California Dream. This museum has 3 stories of exhibits all about the state of California. In the museum, you'll see exhibits on the Native Americans that lived in the area, the Japanese internment camps, the California missions, and all sorts of other unique parts of California's history. They also have what they call the California Hall of Fame, which features a lot of the famous California residents, and an area dedicated to some of the famous California women as well. It's a fun way to spend an hour in the city, as the exhibits are really well done, and there's a lot of great information if you're into history. Alright, let's jump into the food recommendations, and I do have to say Sacramento really does brunch well, so 3 of the 5 are actually brunch spots. First up is Bacon and Butter. This small restaurant on the outskirts of Sacramento is incredibly busy during the weekends. They have a really eclectic and awesome menu of interesting food items, with my personal favorite being the grilled cheese Benedict, which is just as decadent as it sounds, and the grapefruit brulee, where they take a grapefruit, cut it in half, and do a creme brulee sugar crystallized top. It is so good. My second food recommendation is the waffle experience. While this place serves both breakfast and lunch, the breakfast is where it's at for me. I recommend any of the dishes they have with their pork belly, which features a really thick cut of the meat, but it's tender and easy to eat. Also, they have a dish where they serve the pork belly with an egg, roasted tomato, and an herb waffle, and it's just so incredibly good. My third food spot is Chando's Tacos. Chano's Tacos is one of the main ones for me though in Sacramento, and pretty much every time I'm there, I go. They have a great selection of tacos, their prices are good, and there's always a line. They've expanded to many different locations, but I like the original, and it's a great way to enjoy some good Mexican food. My second to last recommendation is Mother. Mother is one of those vegetarian spots that I will go out of my way to eat. They have lots of unique vegan and vegetarian dishes, but for me, I can't go and not order the chicken fried mushrooms. Plus, my wife always goes in thinking she's gonna order something new, but then always orders the chili verde again. It's a fun spot, and if you're not a vegetarian or vegan, give it a try, you'll probably enjoy it. My last recommendation is probably the most famous restaurant in Sacramento, and that's the Tower Cafe. The Tower Cafe is located in the southern part of the city, and both the times I've visited, people have been lining up before they even opened. For me, the famous French toast is where it's at, as it features 2 slices of their secret recipe custard-soaked French bread, topped with this like crazy decadent whipped butter. They also often have a seasonal French toast there that has a different fruit based on the season, and it'll usually have like a cinnamon whipped cream. Man, that can be really good as well. I know they have lunch here, but I haven't been, so if you've been, let me know what to get in the comments. There's lots of other great restaurants to explore though in Sacramento, like Fox and Goose, Federalist Public House, Ginger Elizabeth's, so go out there and find something new if you visit the city. Thanks for exploring Sacramento with me. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know if I left anything off that you love in the comments. We will see you guys next week.